Hi, Aries, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your February 16th to the 28th, 2021 reading for you. Now, I ask if this reading resonates with you, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and also to subscribe to my channel. And if you would like to be notified whenever I upload new videos, and I upload all the time, just hit the bell notification button. And if you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will be listed and linked in the description box below. Now, before we begin this reading and clear the energy space, once again, a reminder not to be scammed by anybody in the comment box pretending to be me, soliciting you for a reading. That person is not me. They are a scammer. Do not be scammed. All right. With that said, now let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds. Letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as you enter into this safe and loving space. Now let's let the bulls sing as we see what the tarot has to say. Aries, February 16th to the 28th, 2021, Aries. February 16th to the 28th, 2021, Aries. February 16th to the 28th, 2021, Aries. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading. And show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. Ooh. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading. And show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Fantastic. Now let's see how our chakra energy correlates, or what our chakra energy has to say. Aries, February 16th to the 31st, to the 28th, there we go, 2021, Aries. February 16th to the 28th, 2021, Aries. February 16th to the 28th, 2021, Aries. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Fantastic. Okay, so we have here abundance, the root chakra, and we're going to get into this more in depth. Oh, wait, these go here in just a moment. Then we have Rebirth, the Earth Star Chakra, located 6 inches below your feet. And finally, we have Self-Mastery, which is the Solar Plexus Chakra. Okay, fantastic. And now let's look at the energy you need to be mindful of during this time. What is the energy that Aries needs to be mindful of? February 16th to the 28th, 2021 Aries. February 16th to the 28th, 2021 Aries. What is the energy that Aries has to be mindful of? February 16th to the 28th, 2021 Aries. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Ooh, okay. Those 4. Excuse me. So we're going to start here with the King of Pentacles, Earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. But no, because we're talking about energy here, it isn't simply Earth sign energy that we have to be mindful of. It's going to be people who take on this characteristic, who are very kind of, there's going to be a rigidity to them. It's kind of like, it has to be this way. Show me the facts, prove me wrong, I think I'm right type of energy, because we're talking a bit here about the negative aspect instead of the positive aspect. So know that it's not going to be every single Earth sign you encounter, just like it's not going to be every single person you encounter. All right? But it is going to be those people who are just, they're trying. They're going to be trying during this time. Then you have the King of Swords, air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Again, not all air sign energy, but just very much taking on this personality trait, this cutting through doubts and fears. There's going to be a real sense here of prove it, prove it and then I'll believe you. Kind of very much like, being a doubting Thomas. And then we have the King of Cups, water sign energy, Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer. And finally, we have the Prince of Pentacles, Earth sign energy, once again, but this is a younger energy, and this is somebody who's a bit timid, and that's going to really bother you, the timidity here, Aries. So do be mindful of that, and we'll get in more deeply to the chakra cards and to the energies to be mindful of. Now, the left-hand side is your inner self. The middle is your heart, your emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. So let's see here. We start with the 3 of Cups. We have the Queen of Earth, again, Earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. You have the King of Earth, which, Earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. But you have that soulmate connection, that true love connection here with the repeat of the King and the Queen. Whenever I have the King and the Queen from the same suit, from the same deck, in a reading, it's a soulmate connection, it's a true love connection, it is a coming together and a greater understanding. So there is something around wealth or what you value as much as money coming forward, especially after a betrayal. And it can be also seeing your own worth so much more distinctly. And then you have the world. The world is opening up to you. There's a new way forward. You're very much finding a key. It doesn't have to be something revolutionary. People might sit there and look at it and be like, what are you so excited about? But for you, it is going to be something that is really rather beautiful. We have the 6 of Air, the 6 of Swords. You have the 9 of Pentacles, the Empress, which I adore, and the 5 of Wands. The Page of Swords, the 9 of Swords, the 3 of Swords, and the Lovers. So you're really in your own head during this time, Aries. You really just want to, you want to figure it out. You want to have the answers. And that's going to be the things that you find really, really frustrating as you're moving forward. There's a sense of needing to balance your prosperity, coming forward in the prosperity that you need within your life. But there's also a sense here of needing to look at the arguments that you get in kind of at an emotional level with yourself, with the external world. And so the 5 of Wands is also very much looking at that for you, looking at where it is you're getting stuck or where it is you're going to run into opposition during this time. Now let's start with talking about the chakra energy. The chakra energy of the root chakra, the earth star chakra, and the solar plexus chakra is really important for you because you're walking forward during this time with the King and the Queen of Pentacles. So you're walking forward with prosperity. Now, when we have our chakra energy come up, that's a place where we're being blessed, but it's also a place where we really need to work on that energy, our root of success, our root of thinking about success. Was your soil depleted, okay, when you were planting these roots? Or was the soil bad when these roots were being planted within you? And what I mean about that, it's an attitude of poverty, it is an attitude of negativity, it's an attitude of this can't be me. And that comes into our lives through many different ways, through many different people and means. So it can be a parent that always told you you're never going to amount to anything. You're never going to be prosperous. It can also be seeing your parents fight about money. It can be getting into relationships and having those fights about money, or again, being told that you are worthless. And this takes root inside of us. This is why our abundance is at our root chakra. When we see ourselves as failures, we keep on being failures. And it seems like all we want to do is break that cycle of anger, break that cycle of doubt, break that cycle of not feeling enough. And at our root, we have to see what it is that is holding us back, what it is that is keeping us from stepping forward. So with the root chakra here, you're opening yourself up to really calling forward your success. Again, be it financially or what you value as much as money. And as that success starts to come forward, you also start to see your authenticity shining forward because you get to be the abundance of your soul. You get to be the abundant person that you want to be. So there is going to be this bit of a push and a pull, and that's why we can see the need for the Nine of Pentacles, the hard work, and knowing that there's going to be more hard work, there we go, ahead. And there's a need for a bit of a balance as you have this blessing come. And very much so here. And then we have the rebirth. Now, the Earth Star Chakra is what we're planting our seeds in. And we have here with the King and the Queen of Pentacles, we have the hurts and the pains and the disappointments that the seeds were planted in that is coloring the way that we look at the world, coloring the way that we look at ourselves. Have you ever noticed when you're really sad or upset or you just feel down, all of a sudden your memories become tinged with gray? But when you have really beautiful, vibrant memories, it could be raining outside. You could remember, the rain hitting the glass or, the sound that it makes on the roof. But the memory is so much brighter. And I think that's very interesting. Our minds color so much. And so here, it's looking at things when they're gray. It's looking at things when they hadn't turned out the way that you wanted them to. And it's looking at the power of where you want to stand, of how you want to move forward, and how you are being reborn. Because at the place where you plant your intentions, I always see the Earth Star Chakra as when we walk on the ground, when we rise our foot and we let it fall, it's that connection that we make with the earth. And if you can walk barefoot, that's awesome. If you live somewhere astoundingly cold like I do, it's not a good idea. It's going to be too much. But here, it's that connection. It's that connection with the earth. It's the connection with your soul. It's the connection with yourself. And it's the sense of being reborn into your power, being reborn into your understanding. And it brings you here to the solar plexus chakra of self-mastery. It brings you here to looking at what you need in order to be in alignment with who you are, with what you desire, with where you want to be. And so it starts to open up a door for you. It starts to open up a greater understanding, and it starts to open up a powerful truth. So here with the solar plexus chakra, listen to your gut, but also listen to that voice inside of you. Listen to the angers, the doubts, the upsets, the things that shake our foundation. And listen to the praises, the joys, the happiness, the blessings. And you're going to see yourself really be rediscovered. You're going to see yourself rediscovering yourself and embracing your emotional and powerful truth as you move forward. Because during this time, you are going to be met with very strong opposition when you have here this kingly energy of, it's so funny because every king but you comes through. So you're also, just from this right here, you're coming through as a king. You're coming through as somebody who rules, who knows what they want, who knows where they're going. But you meet with people who are very kind of finance oriented, very much there's going to be very much of a prove it mentality. This is going to be with the King of Swords, somebody who comes up against you, somebody who sits there and says, you know what, I don't believe that's true. I believe you should see it my way, and they're going to want, especially these two right here, they're going to want, with the King of Pentacles and the King of Swords, they're going to want facts. They're going to want you to prove it. They're going to be worried about the bottom line. They're going to be worried about, well, how is this going to work? And don't be so ridiculous. The King of Water, the King of Cups, is going to be more of an emotional based person. But this can also be somebody who uses emotional manipulation to really kind of lord it over you, really stand over you and say, this is my truth, this is my power, this is what I've succeeded at, what have you done? And this is just going to be right here. People who, they can feel insecure, they can feel overwhelmed, but they're going to want to make you feel less than in order to make themselves feel like they're on the right track. And they're going to also want to be really in control of situations. So that's going to be the energy that you're coming up against during this time. And it can be within relationships within your own family. It's like you can say something and they go, really? Prove it. Like, look it up. And that person might say that all the time. It's their thing. They want the facts. It's going to annoy you during this time. It really, really is. So just be aware of it, because if you can be aware of it and you're like, oh, that's what Dane was talking about. It's kind of like you can kind of step back and say, again, this is you. This is who you are. This is who you're going to be. I can't change it. I can change my response to it. So instead of getting mad and being like, well, what do you doubt me? Like, you calling me a liar type of thing. You sit there and you say, okay, I'm going to move forward in my abundance. Stand in my truth. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I remembered it wrong. If I'm not wrong, awesome. Then I got a kind of check in my corner type of thing. The Prince of Pentacles is somebody who's moving very, very slowly towards their success. Okay? And they're not going to want to change. They're going to want to sit there and analyze it 15 million different ways to Sunday. And it can drive you up the wall again. It's going to be like, okay, look at what you want, write down, correlate what's the most important to you, follow that path. Okay, problem solved, let's move on. But this is not that person. And they're going to change their mind 500,000 different times, especially if you're working with that person, or if that person is, intrinsically connected to the way that you can move forward. This is going to get old very fast. So do be mindful of that. You have the Three of Waters, okay? So the Three of Waters for me is that hurt, that pain, that disappointment, when you have people who were supposed to celebrate you, but just couldn't. They couldn't be there for whatever reason. Now, if they were your parents, it's disappointing, to say the very least. It's aggravating, it's upsetting, but it's also looking at things. And it's looking at the generational curses that you've inherited because of their doubt, because of their fear, because of their anger that they instilled in you, whether it be your mother or whether it be your father or whomever raised you. It's looking at their shortcomings and saying, this doesn't get to be mine. I can break this line. I can be the first person in my family not to let their temper get the best of them. I can be the first person in my family not to let the addiction take hold or, ruin my life. I can be the first person in my family who actually is happy. Everybody else exists. I'm going to thrive. And the Three of Cups, for as heartbreaking as the Three of Cups is, it also shows us who we don't want to be and what energy we don't want in our lives anymore. It's that partner that could have started off being just absolutely wonderful, telling you how great you were and how they love spending time with you. You're beautiful, you're talented, you're this, you're that. And then a bit into the relationship, you're none of those things. You're always being belittled. You're always being contradicted. You're always being almost made fun of. And life becomes on the other person's time, not your own. And with the Three of Water, with the Three of Cups, you're walking away from that. You're looking at that and saying, I see you. I see you for who you are. I see you for who you were. But you don't get to be in control of my life anymore. You don't get to pull me back and keep me stuck, because there's so much more that is meant for me. And as you break that, and it can take a while to break that, Aries, for some, it's not going to be an overnight thing. These are the hurts and the pains and the disappointments that make up our whole entire lives. We learn a lot of them when we're little. We have a lot of them come in because we learn our coping mechanisms when we're very, very small. And we have to adapt. And people say, oh, children are so adaptable, don't worry about it. Yes, they are resilient, but the scars, they stay. So here, it's looking at yourself, and instead of saying, I'm being silly, this happened when I was 5, I'm being silly, this happened when I was 8, or, 13, or whenever, it's saying, I honor the person that I was. I honor the fear that I had. I honor the fact that I was bullied in my life, and I was helpless to do anything about it. Even when you're in a relationship or an addiction, or, there's just some sort of abuse going on, there's a helplessness there, and there's a need to release that and not let it come back into the psyche all the time, not let it, wear you down and guide you off your path. It brings you to the Queen of Earth. It brings you to a place of prosperity and claiming that prosperity and saying, this is me, this is my wealth. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to have stacks and stacks of stacks of $100 bills. It just doesn't. It means this is my purpose on this earthly plane. This is what brings prosperity in my life. You might have a very modest way of living. And you know what? I don't think we value that as much as we should anymore in our world. It's always the biggest, the fanciest, the brightest. It's like, what about the safest, the coziest, the most lovely for your heart, for your soul, for yourself? Instead of proving to everybody else, instead of showing everybody that we make it, I've made it, I've done it. It's sitting there and knowing it within your heart and getting to be secure, getting to be safe, getting to be stable. And it leads you to the Queen of Earth. It leads you to holding that prosperity, to nurturing that prosperity, to looking at the seeds within you and say, what am I growing gently and calmly? Because you have the sacred feminine and you have the sacred masculine. Now, the sacred feminine, whenever we say that, so many of us, and we think of Mother Earth, we think of these calm, gentle figures. But come on, Mother Earth brings hurricanes and tornadoes and blizzards. There's nothing gentle about it. There are gentle moments, but not continuous gentleness. I don't know about you, but with my nephew, he is not even 2 and the most strong-willed little boy I have ever met. And I can sit there till I'm blue in my face and say, don't do that, don't do that. Oh no, it would be very bad if you do that. But he has to learn the lesson for himself. He has to sit there and he'll look you dead in the eye and do it. And, throw a tantrum and get so mad and get overwhelmed. But he has to learn it. And so here, with us planting our seeds, it's like that rage that it's not happening right away, but we have to learn it. We have to learn it. We have to let it grow. We have to plant those seeds inside of us. And if I let him just get away with everything and said, okay, fine, you want to run amok, like, I don't care. No, he has to be reined in. And that's what the sacred feminine does. It lets us learn. It lets us see. It lets us fall. It reins us in. But it is always that safe place to come back to, just like the sacred masculine. The sacred masculine kind of does it, I always feel, in a little bit more of a, not detached way, but a little bit of a tougher way. It's kind of like they'll let you fall a bit more, the sacred masculine, let you kind of figure things out for yourself. If you call the sacred feminine in, it's like the sacred masculine holds you in his hands, and the sacred feminine sits right there with you. You might be on the different sides of the hands. So, it feels like you're far away, but she'll always be right there for you. So that's how I very much like to see it. And that's very much the energy that's coming in here. It's like you have to learn your lessons. You have to, fall down, have your tantrums, get back up, and see your prosperity, see your bounty. It might not be what you expected it would be, but it is abundant. It is beautiful. It is powerful. And with the King of Pentacles, it is seeing the interconnectedness of things. It's also going to be a very powerful energy that combats the negative energy that you have to be mindful of. But it can also make you really feel like, you and the other King of Pentacles energy have a lot in common. And that can be one of the things that you're going to find rather tough during this time. Yeah, when you sit there and think, oh, but we have so much in common, or, oh my gosh, we should be getting along so well. We just don't. We kind of get there, but then we separate. And during this time, it's stepping into your powerful understanding. It's stepping into your truth. And it's sitting there and stepping back and saying, okay, what's the bigger picture? Where is it that I want to be? The queen, okay, looks more at the details of it, looks more at the intricacy of it, kind of sets things all up together. And the king kind of steps back and says, all right, how am I going to make this work? Because I always see the queen as the director behind the scenes and the king as the actor upon stage, stepping into the role and saying, how am I going to play off the other characters? How am I going to make this work? And not so much looking at the intricacy of every nuance of why everything was chosen, why everything was set up all at once, okay? And so the world starts to open to you. The world starts to open to what you desire, where you need to be, who you want, because you're holding the key of your abundance after the power of devastation comes forward. And I know it does sound funny to say the power of devastation needs to come forward for abundance to be realized, but it does. Sometimes we're too locked into a situation where it's too close, like we're too close, we need to step back and we need to see it. And then there's the Buddhist saying, or is it the Taoist saying? I believe it is the Taoist saying, actually, that this and that are true. And so it's when you kind of step back and you look at yourself and you're present within your mind and your soul and your being, you say, there's always two ways of looking at everything. There's always, two ways of being, and I respect and honor that. But there is a truth for you. And there is a way that you open up the doors with that truth of prosperity, of abundance, of bounty leading you forward. And it opens up your eyes, it opens up your mind, it opens up your being. And the world doesn't seem so vastly overwhelming. You're looking at what it is that you desire. You're looking at what it is that you want. And you're going to see that you're turning the key. And maybe what you had expected isn't going to be on the other side, but it is right there with you. It is that dream within you that still is there. But what divinity walks you forward into can be quite overwhelming, quite interesting, quite intricate, and always beautiful. So there is a sense here that as you're stepping into prosperity, you're going to meet with resistance. There's going to be something here where it's going to be like, no, but I want it this way. And you might even feel yourself kind of wanting to throw a fit, like wanting to sit there and just say, but it's supposed to be like this. And divinity is going to step back and say, okay, figure it out. And I know we don't like that. And we want divinity to figure it out or somebody to figure it out. But when we look at it for ourselves and are able to say, this is my truth, this is my power, this is my understanding, we're able to leave behind so much of the poison that corrupted us, that made us doubt ourselves, and open up the world to our being. It leads you then to the Six of Air. The Six of Air, the Six of Swords, is taking up everything that you know and being able to move forward. Taking up your reasons, your understanding, your passions, your power, your hurts, your pains, everything that you have learned, and putting it on board with you. And saying, these are now my prized possessions. Because when you have the swords, okay, or when you have a flying ship, I mean, that's cool stuff right there. And back in ancient times, swords were astounding things. They marked kings. They marked any type of ruler. They marked powerhouses. And they were the leading weapon. So if you look back over time, if you were a commoner, you could be killed for having a sword, for knowing how to hold a sword, for knowing how to use a sword. You could be put to death. The world was so much harsher, so much crueler. And I think we forget that a lot of the time. And so here with the Six of Swords, as you're gathering up your knowledge, as you're gathering up your understanding, it's done through being forged for battle. It's done through the heartbreaks, the pains, the disappointments, the angers, the times where you were put under so much pressure. Okay, you thought you were going to break, and the times that you did break. We forget that a lot of times. The heart breaks. The soul breaks. The self breaks. And we have to put ourselves back together. And the Six of Swords is understanding all of that. And taking that hard-won knowledge, and instead of saying, oh, how stupid was I, to be so foolish, to be so weak, to be so this, to be so that. It's like, no. Look how strong I am to still be standing. Look how powerful I am to be present in me. To still hold true to my dreams, to still hold true to myself. To still be the person that I desire. And it leads you then to the Nine of Pentacles. And the Nine of Pentacles is the prosperity to be celebrated. But there's also a need for a balance here. I keep on seeing this overlaid with the Six of Pentacles. And there's just a sense here of that balance of the push and the pull, and people wanting and people needing, and, not knowing which way to move forward at times. With the wanting to celebrate the prosperity that comes forward because of all your hard work paying off, and all your dedication, and all your beauty, and all your understanding. And so there is a need here for the balance. And there is a sense that that once you celebrate, and you might not know when exactly the time will be where things kind of start to shatter and break a little bit or need more attention, but it's coming. There's going to be more attention needed. There's going to be more looking at things, more understanding things, more embracing of self and of soul and of what you need to work on. But right now, you need to embrace the moment of being present. You need to embrace this time because you're coming close to a conclusion of the cycle. Yeah, a completion of the cycle with the repeat of the number 9 right here. And as you're coming close to this completion of a cycle, you're coming close to stepping into yourself, prosperity and mentally. And you're very much making the work and really coming to understandings within your inner self. But there's a celebration within the heart that needs to be embraced as you move forward. It needs to be understood, not just sitting there and saying, "Oh, I'll get there," and still being pulled 500,000 different directions. It leads you to the Empress. It leads you to bounty. It leads you to finding a voice that you thought was lost. It leads you to connecting with your heart in a way that you thought was lost. You thought, I can't do this. I can't be this person. I can't embrace my truth. I don't know how to move forward. The Queen, the Empress, is saying here, oh yes, you do. And what's so interesting is that she's linked with the Queen of Pentacles and the Lovers. Okay? So in this line, you have you embracing your prosperity, you claiming a throne you never knew you had, a voice you didn't realize was silenced, a power that, a way that you thought was your power, but really was a myopathy. Yeah, there we go. A myopic way of looking at things. And you're claiming something bigger. You're claiming something true. And it leads you here to embracing the repeat of the number 3. And the repeat of the number 3 is Divinity walking with you. And as Divinity walks with you, you have the repeat again of the number 9. You're coming very close to a conclusion of a cycle. And the repeat of the number 6 shows that there is love, there is healing, there is compassion here. Because 6 is the most nurturing of the numbers. So there is a prosperity that comes forward. There is a might that becomes a part of you. There is a truth that embraces your soul. And you're going to be very drawn to it during this time. It's the perfect mind coming forward. And I'll link that in the description box. I always mean to link it in. I'll write myself a note. And I always forget. So here, the perfect mind comes forward. And it's like, it's the complexity and the contradictions and the angers and the upset of the world. But it's the presence within ourselves and the power within ourselves to move us forward and to become so much more than what we thought. It leads you to the 5 of Wands. And the 5 of Wands is this fiery truth, right? So the 5 of Wands is the chaos of what everybody wants from us. The chaos of how we feel like we're denied our voice, or I can't move forward this way, or I can't be this, or I can't be that, because you're met with opposition. And so at the root of your heart here, at the root of your inner self, your world is opening. At the root of your heart, you don't want another battle. You're tired. You really are tired. And you need to start taking care of yourself. Really need to start looking at yourself and saying, but this is what I want, and this is where I need, and this is what I desire. And this is how I need to carve out space for myself to embrace me, and to not always let the chaos take over. And it also brings you here with the 5 of Wands to a place within yourself where you look at the contradictions, you look at the fear, you look at the anger, you look at the upset, and you say, okay, but I'm not letting fear take me away anymore. I'm not letting fear hurt me or dispose of me or deny me or or, diminish me. I'm looking at the chaos within myself, acknowledging it, but not being ruled by it. And again, it can be getting curious with that chaos. It's like, okay, Aries, why? Why am I chaotic? Why am I doubting myself? Why? Because we doubt ourselves all the time, every single human being on this earth. And we sit there and we think, oh, it's just me, right? No, it's a we. It's a we disguised as a me to make us feel alone, segregated from everybody else, denied a truth, denied a passion, and just sat there by ourselves, not able to move forward the way that we desperately want to. And so here, with the 5 of fire, the 5 of wands, it's looking at that chaos within ourselves and saying, no, 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 no. There's more to me. There's more to me that you could ever have realized. And it's embracing, then, the page of air, being a student of your voice, being a student of your breath, being a student of your truth. I believe it was the Hawaiians, the native Hawaiians, right? That when, Hawaii was discovered and conquered, they called the white people who conquered them, they called them mouth breathers, right? Or something to do with they didn't breathe right. And so here, with the page of air, it's almost being a student of your voice, being a student of how to breathe. I'm going to link that in the description box below because it's astounding. The art of breathing, right? And so here, it is a sense of being a student of your breath, being a student of your presence, being a student of your words, being a student of your thoughts. And it comes within silence, which is something I'm finding more and more valuable within my life, but also something that we really don't like as human beings. We don't like the quiet. We don't embrace the quiet. And to embrace the quiet is to embrace a peace within. So if you just took a moment and kind of rested your hands flat on a table or on your knees, or if you're driving, just kind of be aware of your hands. Don't close your eyes at all, though. If you aren't driving, close your eyes and relax, or just let yourself relax. And just breathe through your nose, not through your mouth at all, just through your nose. And take nice, deep breaths through your nose, letting yourself relax. You're going to see that really does relax the tension within your jaw. It can change the structure of your face. It can change the quality of your life, just simply through breathing through your nose, through making your everyday breath be a meditation to your life, to divinity, to your truth. And you're becoming a student here of your voice, of what you desire, but also the power of your breath, the power of your presence, the power of you. And it becomes a tool, right? Because swords, they're the only tool that is consistently a weapon. So you might say, okay, Dane, there are no swords here. They're feathers, they're wings. Yes, because the mind lets us fly. But it's our greatest tool. And I think we need to be reminded that more often than we are. We tend to think like, oh, I'm thinking things. Okay, cool. But our thoughts make up our being, make up our lives, make up ourselves. So to be present within our thoughts is to be present within our truth. And to be a student of our breath is to be a student of our bodies, to be a student of ourselves, completely present, completely powerful. It leads you to the 9 of air. The 9 of air is nightmares, doubts, fears, afraid to launch, afraid to fly because you'll fall. Nightmares steal lives. The 9 of swords has stolen more people's dreams than you could even count, than you would even want to imagine. Fear keeps us bound. Fear keeps us small. Fear keeps us quiet. And it's looking at the fear within our lives, the fear that, was spoken over us, the generational curses, the DNA fear, okay, the anxiety within us. And it's looking at our truth and our passion and our desire and saying, do I live in fear? Do I let the negativity that was spoken over me be my truth? Or do I say, I'm worth more than this, and I'm moving forward in a greater way? I'm taking flight. I'm taking aim. I'm taking action. We look at our fears, and a lot of times we want to conquer our fears, which means, in my head, I'll never be afraid again. I've conquered you, I've seen you, and you will not plague me. But it's not that. It's not that I'll never be afraid again. It's that when I am afraid, I will notice it. When my vibrational level, instead of being up here, goes down here, I'll feel it. And I might have to feel it for a while, because we can be in that mindset that says, I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm down here. Everybody else is down here. If it's good for everybody else, why can't it be good for me? Because you want more. You've stumbled across this channel, or you've been watching this channel for a while. Welcome to the family, and thank you for being a part of it. We want our energy vibration higher. We want more from this life than the sadness that everybody is settling for. And so here, with the Nine of Swords, it's looking at the nightmares. It's looking at the fear. It's looking at the disappointment and saying, I see you. But you don't get to own me. Spirit wants you to fly. Spirit does not want you to have your wings cut, to let everybody's negativity weigh you down. Spirit is saying, see your truth. See what it is that you desire. Understand your fear and address it. Give it a name. Give it a face. Have a conversation with your fear. What your subconscious is afraid of, what you are afraid of, can lead you to tears. Because when it is realized and released, there gets to be a power that comes forward. It leads you to the Three of Air, to looking at the heartbreak, the pain, the disappointment, the broken heart, the crashed dreams, the fear that kept you stuck. And saying, why is it that as I am finding my voice, as I'm embracing my crown, okay, and embracing my roots, which is my love, my passion, my desire, the duality of my nature, the multifaceted different ways that I can move forward. Why is fear stepping in and saying, oh no, you can't. You get to stay heartbroken. You get to stay in a cage. You get to stay denied. Is that your truth? Denial? Or is your truth stepping into the power of your present, the purpose of your dreams, the dedication of your heart, and saying, I'm worth more than this. I know what I want from life. And I am rising to that occasion, to that understanding, and to that beauty of me. I was going to say the 6 in the major arcana, the Lover's card. It's love. It's passion. It's knowledge. It's truth. It's coming together. It's the different roads that we can walk. It's the sacred masculine and the sacred feminine ruling us. And it's saying, how do I move in my truth? How do I move in my understanding? How do I fall in love with my life and let that love come forward? Because as you find your voice and you face these fears, because fears come forward when we find our voice, chaos wants to knock us down. Chaos wants to deny us, as divinity wants to build us, as love, as I would call it, wants to move us forward. And there's a sense here, as we embrace the Lover's card, as we embrace here, as it is called, love, we embrace a different truth. We tame the beast within. Because the Five of Wands is that chaos, is that beast that we can be. And it's sitting there and it is saying, I tame that beast within me. I tame that chaos within me. Not that it will never be. It's like looking at our shadowed self, looking at the selves that Jung said, we don't want the world to see. There are parts of us, there are thoughts that we have. We don't want anybody to know we have. We don't want people to see it. They're our own private thoughts, or they can be more baser desires. But when we look at that beast and we say, but that is a part of who I am, not to be indulged in, but to be seen, given that nod to, and say, I'm not walking down that road. That becomes power. That becomes truth. That's when might and glory set into our souls. And it's not the might of the righteous. It's not the might of, the fierce. It's the might of our conviction, of who we are, of who we were born to be, of where we stand and why we stand there. And it's falling in love with that truth. Ooh, excuse me. And let's go deeper. Aries. February 16th to the 28th. There we go. 2021 Aries. February 16th to the 28th. 2021 Aries. February 16th to the 28th. 2021 Aries. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Ooh. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Okay. You have the Empress again. I love that. The High Priestess and the Six of Swords. Awesome. Also, the Six of Swords again. The Nine of Swords, once again. The Four of Pentacles and the Magician. Interesting. The Queen of Wands, you're shining through as a queen. I like that, kind of combating all those kings. You need that queenly energy in you. Ooh, I like that. And the Ten of Wands. Okay. So you have the repeat of the number 4, a need to take care of yourself. Absolutely, positively. All right. And you have that countdown from 3 to 2 in the major arcana. So you have the Empress. Here it says nurturing. Now, here you have the Empress pregnant, which is a very common way of seeing the Empress. But it's not necessarily, pregnancy. It's not that aspect of femininity that I always see embraced with the Empress. It's that ability to create. It's that ability to nurture. It's that ability to listen. And I don't know, sometimes I get sick and tired of hearing the woman as the nurturer. But I also know that it is, at least in my personality, astoundingly prevalent, to be, or present, to be the nurturer within things. And I think that's why I rebel against it a little bit at times, or maybe a lot of it. But there's something here about nurturing the seeds within you, nurturing the power within you. And you might have moments, and my spirit had me share that. Like, you could be tired of saying, I'm the nurturer. You might have moments where you don't want to be nurturing anymore. You don't want to be helping others build or helping things build within you. You want it now. You want the power now within yourself. You want the truth now within yourself. You want things to move forward, and you want that fierceness. But here, as you're moving past hurts and you're moving into building this prosperity, I was going to say nurturing this prosperity, which is what Spirit wants me to say, you are embracing that incubation period within yourself, that sense of looking at what it is that you desire, looking at what it is that you need, and opening up your eyes to that world, to that understanding of you, to that sense of, I can build this, I can create this, I can help this grow. And you're going to have the patience to do so. Because, it's an overgeneralization, and of course it doesn't always happen, but usually the female caregiver is more patient than the male caregiver. But again, that's not always the case, but it's a generalization. And so here, it's like having that greater patience with yourself is going to be so important, even if you don't like patience. I mean, I hate patience. I'm like, give it to me yesterday, that would have been great. But it's in divine timing. And in divine timing, you can't rush it. You can't rush the beauty that is brought forth to the world. And so it's the incubation of dreams by divinity for you, to have you walk in that power, to have you know that truth. And it brings you to the High Priestess. It brings you to seeing behind the veil as you embrace this sense of focus, the sense of truth, the sense of, interconnectedness to your prosperity. It's seeing behind the veil of yourself, but also of others. It can actually make you rather disillusioned with things. So do be mindful of that the disillusion doesn't take away from the power of where you stand. This is empowerment because the knowledge empowers you. It emboldens you. It has you stepping into a way of being that you didn't think you would step into. And as you do this, the Six of Swords takes up your knowledge, takes up your understanding, and it brings here boundaries around you. Oh, that's so funny, to the world. But it's almost like one of these swords is the key. So the knowledge is the key. It turns the lock. It opens up the world. And you have those boundaries. You have that discernment to say, this is what I want, and this is what I don't want. This is where I excel, and this is where I'm not comfortable, instead of saying, I just have to do everything, right? I just have to be perfect all the time. No, you don't. It's knowing your truth. It's knowing your understanding. It's knowing you. And as you open up that world to you, you open up a greater truth, a greater power, a greater way of being. And again, you're taking all that knowledge that's crowning your heart in the main part of your reading, and it's now rooting you in your inner self. And it's saying, this is where I need to be. This is where I want to be. This is what I'm looking for, I'm longing for. And it brings you to the Nine of Swords. As you're moving forward, as you're embracing a prosperity that is also needing to be balanced within you, and you know that there's more hard work to come, there are doubts and fears. It's like, can I handle this? This is mental conflict, okay? So mental conflict gives you a sense of, I don't think I can do this. I want to move forward this way, but I'm going to stop myself. And I want this, but I don't want that. And I can move forward like this, but I absolutely can't. So this is going to be the conflict within yourself that is keeping you from moving forward and keeping you from truly celebrating. And that's the balance here that I was seeing, that with the Nine of Pentacles and the Nine of Swords. They're very conflicting. One says, embrace your prosperity, embrace your bounty, move forward in that abundant truth. The other one says, wait a minute. Don't you remember we always fail? Don't you remember that things always fall apart? Be prepared for things to get devastating, and be prepared for you to be devastated. Be up at night worrying. This is what keeps us from being able to sleep. This is what robs us. And so here, with the Nine of Swords, it's looking at the truth of you. It's looking at the fears of you, which make up our truths. We're made up of our blessings and our fears. And acknowledging it. Because you're moving here, as you're, embracing the Empress, okay? 3 in the major arcana, you have 4 in the minor arcana of the 4 of Pentacles. And for me, the 4 of Pentacles, here this is stability. But it says stability. But for me, I always see this as the robbing of our stability. The energy that comes in and says, you don't get to have this. They're the leeches that hold on to us. They're the vampiric energy that suck away our nutrients, our passions, our powers, our brilliance, and says, no, you don't get to have this prosperity, this understanding, this bounty within your life. So the Empress is calling you to stability, and the 4 of Pentacles is calling a robbing of that stability. That energy that says you have to keep on giving and giving and giving. You can't be in the moment. You can't be happy. You can't be contented. And that's going to be what you shatter. But that's also what's causing you doubts and fears and angers and upsets, because you haven't known the peace. You haven't known this is where I stand. This is who I am. And I'm okay. Life has been one tragedy after the other, one conflict after the other, one heartbreak after the other. And you're looking at the people who drain you, but you're also looking at the memories that drain you, the ways that you define yourself that drain you. And you're stepping into the Magician. It's like all of a sudden, and there really is going to be this switch within your heart that's just kind of turned. And it's going to be like all of a sudden, I'm not putting up with this nonsense anymore. I'm not being held back. I'm not being denied. I'm not. And I stand before the altar of my existence. I stand before my power. I stand before my truth as I face the chaos within me, because that's what you're doing right here. And you're calling forward wealth. You're calling forward bounty. You're looking at the elemental truth of yourself. And this says mastery. Well, this is mastery of the being. It doesn't last forever, unless we're some sort of great mystic or guru or, spiritual teacher. It doesn't last forever, but we have moments of it. And we embrace those moments. We embrace those times of clarity and say, wow, this has brought me one step closer. How do I live in this? How do I keep this as part of my life? How do I keep this as part of myself? The magician is the magic within. But it's very much taking on that standing before the presence, claiming the presence, saying, this is me, this is what I want, this is where I'm headed. And you claim it here. And you have, which I completely overlooked, I love this, you have 1, 2, and 3, right? You have the magician, the high priestess, and the empress. And at the root of your heart, you are finding here, you have the spiritual king and queen of the tarot. And so here you have the magician, you have the masculine energy, the sacred masculine coming forward. You have this power, you have this sense of as above, so below. As I think it, so it becomes. As I focus on it, so I will build. And then you have the sacred feminine aspect that is the mysteries, that is the hidden truth, that is the greater understanding, that is the coming together of wisdom and being. And you're opening up your eyes to your world in a very spiritual, very profound way that leads you to be pregnant with possibilities, that leads you to be bringing forward into the world things that you had never thought you would be able to create. And it brings you to being the queen of yourself. This is passion right here. The queen of yourself, the queen of what you desire. As you set yourself free, as you find the power of your voice, and you also embrace the power of your voice, and you stand facing your fears and saying, you don't get to control me anymore. The Queen of Wands is the fierce queen. She is the queen that's not afraid to roll up her sleeves and get her hands dirty. She's the passionate queen. She's the determined queen. And that's what you're embracing. You're embracing your passionate determination to say, I'm lighting my way. I'm moving myself forward in what makes my heart sing, in what brings me knowledge and understanding and brilliance and truth. And then you have the Four of Swords, a time of honoring, a time of respecting, because you have it over the Three of Swords, which I love that progression. And with the Three of Swords, it's heartbreak and it's pain and it's disappointment and it's the hurts and it's the things that have just shattered us, gutted us. And with the Four of Swords, it's looking at the healing. It's paying honor and homage to every battle we've been through, every heartbreak we've been through, every time we've been denied, every battle that has been fought. We don't think of life as that, but it's battles. It's hurts, it's pains, it's disappointments. It's watching loved ones pass, and it's seeing things fall away. And it shatters us. And we're constantly rebuilt, put back together, but differently. We're never, ever going to be exactly the same. And with the Four of Swords, it's looking at that hurt, that pain, that disappointment. And instead of saying, my gosh, what an idiot am I? It's saying, we did it, didn't we? We walked forward. We transformed, we elevated our vibration, we saw a truth. And we weren't broken. And that's the huge thing. And even if we were broken, even if we almost completely fell apart, we didn't. We didn't stay there forever. We didn't throw away everything we loved, everything we've worked for. And with the Four of Swords, it's understanding the fight that's in you. It's understanding the determination that's in you. And it's honoring that. It brings you to the Ten of Wands. As you embrace your love at your root, as you embrace your heart and your passion and you fall into love again, the responsibilities that you've taken on, the burdens that you've laid upon your shoulders, the passions, the hurt, the pain, the disappointment. But also the easing of the load for everybody else. The sitting there and saying, oh, I'll take that on. Oh, I'll do this. Oh, I'll, help you out and I'll be this nice person. You're looking at it and it's like, yeah, okay, keep on being a nice person. We need more of those in the world, most definitely. But you can't take away other people's life lessons. They have to learn them themselves. That's why they're here. It's understanding that, yes, the road is hard. Yes, the pain is real. But people have to walk through that pain and know their truth quite powerfully, quite personally. And that brings you a greater understanding of who you are and what you desire. And so you let them fall. You let them stumble, not in a bad way, but in the way that a little kid needs to fall before they learn to walk. And you're there and you love them. But it's a time to discover. It's a time to say, if you need to walk that path, walk that path. And as you release so much of what you're carrying, so that people can carry their proper weight in this world, you look at you. You look at everything you carry. Every dream that you hold on to that it just isn't time for. Every heartbreak, every desire, every longed for moment. And you bring it forward. And you say, it's my time to build my fire of truth and to let it light my way. Now your subconscious spirit animal message. Aries. February 16th to the 28th, there we go. 2021, Aries. February 16th to the 28th, 2021, Aries. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Ooh, this one. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels. And spirit guides, angels. Fantastic. Here we have the brown bear spirit. Take time out. Take time out to look at what it is that you desire, to look at the seeds that you are planting within your heart, to look at the power that guides you forward. Take time out to be present within your truth, your power, your passion, your being. It leads you as you step back. It leads you to the moth spirit. Surrender now. Surrender now to your truth. Surrender now to your heart. Surrender now to what you love. Respect, honor within this world. See where it takes you. See what it takes you if just for this short amount of time to surrender to divinity, to surrender to the sacred, and bring that forward within your life. It's not saying, oh, I don't have any decisions to make or, whatever. It's saying, this is me. This is my power. This is my truth. This is what I'm stepping into. And it brings you then to one of my favorite cards, the mouse spirit. Tend to the small things. Our world always focuses on the bigger things, on the firework moments. It's the small things that matter. It's the small things that count. So it's the person who gets you a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, when you're sitting down, or they get one for themselves. It's the I love you. It's the how are you doing? It's the kind little things. It's the smile when you're on a walk, that a stranger gives you as you pass by, or the hi. It's the small things that make up the beauty in the world. The big things, yeah, they're well and good, but they're rarer, especially when love and friendship and family is involved. You have a person who's really good at the grand gestures, but never tells you that they love you. You have a person who's really good at the grand gestures and never tells you that they care, never show that they care. So here with the mouse spirit, it's tending to the small things. And it's honoring the small things. The ear that listens to you. The shoulder to cry on. The people who are there and who love you. It's honoring those small things. And it's connecting with those small things, with your angels and with your spirit guides, guiding you by divinity. It leads you now to your subconscious spirit animal message, which is the dragonfly spirit. Truth transcends illusion. And you're seeing that, especially here with the high priestess and the magician. Truth transcends illusion. You're evolving. You're looking at things differently. You're pushing forward. And you're really breaking through a lot of the illusion, a lot of the bull of the world. The stuff that people say, it's supposed to make you happy, it's supposed to be true. You're like, no, it's not. There's more out here. And others just don't want you to know. Because if you're happy, what can they sell you? If you're happy, you wouldn't need anything else. You wouldn't need the bigger anything or the fancier anything. You'd be content right now. It leads you to the death card, the dying away of the old self, the rebirth of the new. Your person message is that you're entering into a time of transformation. You're entering into a time of greater knowledge, greater understanding, greater, becoming. And there is going to be a bit of a secretiveness to you, Scorpio. Everybody doesn't need to know your business, Scorpio. Then needs to be with you, Aries. And this is, of course, Scorpio coming forward within you. And the energy is coming through quite powerfully. And as you embrace this Scorpio energy, as you embrace this power, as you embrace this understanding, as you step between the worlds and see the truth in our reality, but also in our spirituality, you see the truth within you. And it brings you then to your subconscious chakra message, which is spiritual awakening, which makes perfect sense as to why you're going through the transformation. This is the crown chakra. This is the opening up of ideas. This is a connection with your spirit guides, with your angels, with this way forward, with this truth, with this passion. It opens you up to sit there and say, well, why not? And how can I become more? And where is it that I want to stand? And why is it that I want to stand there? And what is the purpose of me? It brings you then to your subconscious tarot message, which is the Ten of Fire. And you have the Ten of Fire rooting you in the public arena. The Ten of Fire, the Ten of Wands, is the release of everything that you carry. The burning away of the unbearable and the embrace of the now and the present and your dreams and your desires. It brings you then to go deeper. And you have the Three of Wands. The Three of Wands is freedom. So once you release the burdens that you carry, you embrace freedom. You embrace a new horizon. You embrace a new way forward. All right, Aries. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I am sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as you nurture your dreams, as you stand before the altar of what you are creating within your life and speak your truth into the world. As you look behind the deceits that are being sold left and right and say, but this is me. This is my truth. This is my power. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Aries.